Hello everybody, welcome to the Onthaquicks podcast. Today we got Windy City Reports here live in the flesh for the first time. So why don't you go ahead? How's your day going so far though?
Pretty good, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Nice, thank you for coming out. I know that it's not easy getting up here, especially like on the weekends.
It's all good, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's actually easier on the weekends, bro.
Right.
Rush hour on,
Right.
Yeah.
So why don't you just like give me started like on your background, like have you lived here your whole life?
Yeah, Chicago.
Schooling.
Yeah, Chicago born and raised. I mean, yeah, you guys know. Yeah, Chicago born and raised, man. Northwest side mainly, and suburbs, and then northeast side like Rogers Park neighborhood. But yeah, all over the north side really. Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
So how would you say like the schooling there was like when you were there during your time?
The schooling when I was a kid, it was good, I would say overall. We were getting there was a lot of fights though. It wasn't really shooting, but it was like a lot of fights. So my parents moved and got us out of there to the suburbs for high school, and then after high school moved over to East Rogers Park. That was like the last year of high school, and then over there it was college. So from then on it was good. But high school in the suburbs was good.
Yeah,
that was sweet over here, man. Yeah, they made a good move for me and my sister to do.
Oh, okay. And what time period did you grow up in during that?
I graduated high school in 2000, so I was going 96 to 2000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
And then you say you went to college afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay. How was that like for you?
It was okay. I mean, if I had to do it over again though, I probably would have done it at just a trade school.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because college is like, if you're gonna get I was trying to become a professor eventually. That was my end goal, and that's like an 8 to 10 year journey. You know what I'm saying? Whereas trade school, 2 years and you're working.
Right.
So I probably would have done that if I had to do over again. But I mean, yeah, it was a good experience overall. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people like realizing trade school is more like the better option as far as saving money and like getting money afterwards, or getting a better job afterwards. Kind of guarantee you're getting a job afterwards.
Bro, there's a guy, he's a friend of my uncle. He went to college, got a degree, couldn't get a job with his degree, so he went to Oakland Community College, got a certificate in welding. It took him 2 years. He's making 6 figures now welding.
Oh wow,
you know what I'm saying? So
that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
So, you don't always need a traditional route to to make.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not.
Awesome. So then, I know that you talked about being a substitute teacher. So, do you want to elaborate how were your experiences? Where things you saw in the school system that that you saw was a strong suit, and some things that are weaknesses, or where kids are disadvantaged and advantages nowadays.
Yeah, it depends on the school. Pretty much. I would say the magnet schools, Northside Prep, Lane Tech, Whitney Young, those schools like that. You go there, if you get in there, you're gonna have a good, advantage going into college. If you can't get into one of those schools, this for any parents or anything in the city, I would say any of the northwest side high schools are a better option, I would say, than the high schools over on the northeast side, and they're definitely a better option than the schools on the west side. I didn't really do too much on the south side, so the only high school I worked at on the south side was Dunbar. And I don't recommend having kids go to Dunbar, but on the west side I was at Michelle Clark, Marshall, Crane, Austin Business Entrepreneurship, or high school. Which other one? I was supposed to go to Manly one time, but I didn't end up going there. But pretty much all those high schools. I would say if you live in one of those neighborhoods, do whatever you have to do to get your kid into a magnet school, because over there it was too many distractions. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
Yeah. What and what years were those? Mid 2000s era?
I started in 05. No, I started in 04, and then my first assignment was at Marshall High School on the west side. Then I went to Orr. Then I went to Sullivan High School on the north side. And that was before Young Pappy was. I know people going to ask about that. That was before Young Pappy was there, so I never had him in class. Yeah. But I had one of his big homies in class, James Brown. He was a PBG member. Rest in peace to JB. He got killed. Rest in peace to him. And I had him in class. He and I were cool. He was a freshman when I was 22, just starting out. So yeah, some of their big homies I had, but yeah, Sullivan was a bad school back then. I heard it's gotten a lot better. If you live in that neighborhood, Sen is the better option. I would go there, or like Amundsen. But yeah, Sullivan, I wouldn't recommend going there. But yeah, if you can't get your kid into a magnet school, any Northwest Side high school, Mather, Von Steuben, any of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have any like memorable moments while teaching, like good or bad, any type of those?
Yeah, a lot, man. Yeah, a lot. I mean, bad was just like anything involving violence.
Right.
Hearing one of my students who just got shot, hearing one of my students' dad just got killed. Things like that were always the bad days, man. But the good days were just, the good days were hearing that a kid was like, had gotten into college, or that a kid was,
awesome.
Had passed an AP exam or something. Anything that were, they're going to go on to bigger and better things. That was what made the days good. But as a sub, I didn't get to be with them every day. I was on and off, so I didn't get to see their progress like day to day. So I can't, I can't say like, as much as a regular teacher would be able to say, because I didn't get the same look at it. But yeah.
Right. And did you have any like, I guess any like special connection with any type of student, or like kind of like mentor or someone looking up to you, asking for advice, that type of situation?
Yeah, man. There was a kid I remember. I won't say his government name, but so Sullivan was like probably like 90% black, like 8% Hispanic, a few Asians, and then there was like maybe only 20 white kids in the whole school. So there was this one white kid who was going there, and like he was getting involved in gangs. He was a member of a Hispanic gang, and he was doing this like, he'd gotten pressed. He basically got enforced. They pulled him into the bathroom and started whooping him, and asked him what gang he was going to join. So he joined their gang. So he ended up being a Latin Eagle. So I was like one of the only other like white dudes in the school besides him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of the black kids, like I used to battle rap back then. I stopped doing that, but I used to do that back then. So like a lot of the kids, like a lot of the black kids, they were into the rap and stuff. So they were respecting me because of that. So then the fact that like I was getting respect made him like gravitate towards me because I was getting respect from them. So I was trying to advise him to leave the gang, you know what I'm saying? But he wasn't trying to hear it. He flipped GD after a while because the GDs were pressing everybody else in the school. They ran that school, so, and they still do. So yeah, he joined that, or he tried to join it. But then what happened was his old homies jumped him, like they got on him because of that, you know what I'm saying, for flipping. And you can't do that. So yeah, they got on him because of that. And like I was right there in the hall when they started pressing him. But I didn't hear what happened to him after high school, but yeah, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I hope so. Just, that's crazy that high school's now still like, gangs like kind of still like are in full control. Like, this high school goes to like, geez, just high school's like a teen high school. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy. Like even now, 2021, we still gotta like worry about those type of situations.
Well, I mean, this was like 05, so I don't know if it's still like that over there today, man. But I know some high schools is still like that.
Right. And then so then what inspired you to start the YouTube channel? Like what was like the inception of it?
I was watching DJ Academics War in Chirac.
Oh, okay, nice.
I was watching that, and all respect to him, but I just wanted to tell it from like the angle of somebody who's from here.
Right.
Because when you hear somebody from somewhere else tell it, there's certain things like you want to make sure it's portrayed the right way. But I wasn't doing the kind of videos he was doing. I was just doing like basically for people outside the city, describing the neighborhoods, like everything about it, the restaurants, the food, the schools, everything. And yeah, but people just started asking more and more about like the street aspect of things. So I just did what they wanted me to do. Just went off of requests, and the channel just really, the viewers took it in that direction.
Right.
Just by asking me what to do this, do that, so I would just do it.
Yeah, and I noticed that like that your subscriber count right now is like almost at 100, or pretty much at 100,000 now.
Yeah, it's
so
102.
What was it like seeing the growth of that like throughout the time when you started it from to now?
Yeah, man, it was shocking, bro, because like I never thought that I was gonna have more than like 50 subs. Like when they started asking me about the street stuff, the majority of the streets now in Chicago is like black and brown gangs. Like back in the day, like 70s, 80s, there was a ton of white gangs. Like white gangs controlled like the whole north side. Today the whites are all out of the street. So I was like, they're not going to want to hear about the streets from a white dude, you know what I'm saying? Because we're not relevant anymore in the streets. So, but I mean, they did. I was getting like black kids, Hispanic kids. They were hitting me with requests like, do a video about this gang, do a video about that gang, and these are gangs that like are in their neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, wow, I was shocked that they wanted to hear that from me, because I was like, nobody's gonna listen to me, but they did. I mean, they wanted to do that. I got a few guys, mainly older guys, talking about like, you know, you shouldn't be doing this because you're, you know, taking our culture and stuff. But at the same time, I was only doing it because people from their community were asking me to do it. Right. So yeah, so I went with them, bro.
Yeah. And how do you like respond to it? People saying like, oh, like you're exploiting like, you know, what's going on in the streets, you know, just for your own gain. What do you have to say like when people like say, you know, stuff like that?
I mean, I just tell them like keep that same energy with Channel 5,
right.
WGN. They're doing the exact same story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when we don't cover it, you know what I'm saying? Like okay, for example, recently, you know, a lot of the white media has been covering that Gabby Petito girl that went missing, and then they'll be saying like, well, y'all don't care about us, y'all don't cover us, but then when we cover it, we're culture vultures. Right. So it's like, which way, you know, it's a lose-lose. So what are we gonna do? Well, if they want me to cover it, you know, these kids from over there, I'm gonna cover it. Right. So if you got a problem with me covering it, talk to them. You know. Yeah. Because they're the ones making me do it. So.
And I would say that you cover like a lot more things going on in the city than like what you see like on Channel 5, WGN. Like I think it was the recent video you uploaded about the kid, and I didn't see anything about that in the news. And then like
they might have covered it briefly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to cover, like you go to normal Chicago channels, like most Chicago channels, it's going to be about like the rappers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what gets the views.
Yeah.
The stuff about the babies getting hit and all that, it doesn't get the views. Yeah. But I still feel like that needs to be told.
Absolutely.
Even if it's not going to get the views, because that's really what's going on. And like I don't want these kids to get like gassed up on the gang life, because I've seen like firsthand in school, like talking to their parents, hearing from them like this take these kids' lives like in a nosedive, like into just destruction. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want these kids to get like all like fanned out by the gang life. Right. It ain't like that in real life, you know.
Especially with like you say the views, like the music, like drill music coming into play with it, it's like creates like a whole little like ecosystem of just like people just wanting to like get involved in like, you know, get clout, whatever.
I'm telling you, bro, you see they got an O-Block like in Africa now, like it's like these imitations of Chicago hoods are popping up in like other countries. The culture is spreading through the music, bro, and it's like it's bad.
What do you think about that? You know, do you think there's some good at all to it? Do you think this is totally toxic, or?
Yeah, nah, man. Drill music is toxic, bro. Drill music is straight up toxic, man. Like, and gangs especially, like if they're creating imitation gangs, like where would some dude in Africa get the idea to make like BDs or BD?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't gotta worry about that stuff. So the fact they're even creating those problems for themselves when they didn't even have to worry about that in the first place, like it's like, bro, you got a good life not having to worry about ops. Like why are you creating this situation? You know?
Yeah. So. And then I mean, and then we have the whole. I mean, it like just gets covered a lot more, and then the whole situation with the FBG situation. You know, they're getting O-Block getting indicted, or those 4 guys getting indicted. What do you think is going to come about that? It's going to be like some like backlash, like some power vacuum, or like, or just even like with like the ramifications of like an indictment in general, as far as like the streets like action.
Yeah, I mean the feds, bro. The feds is a whole different level of, you know, of legal get back, so to speak. Because the feds, bro, I mean, these are the guys that took down the mafia when they were at the height of their power.
Right.
So a little neighborhood set like O-Block ain't nothing for them. You know what I'm saying? So they can easily take those guys down. So, I mean, yeah, they don't have a power hierarchy though. So there's no vacuum to fill really. It's just a bunch of friends. So I mean, the younger generation coming up, they're on the same street stuff already now. But I mean, shoot, STL, EBT, they might be next. You know, you never know what the feds are cooking up behind the scenes, because you don't know until they knock at your door.
Right.
So they keep it all secret. So
yeah, most of the time you're just like surveillancing, collecting evidence, you know, build that case. So that what is like 97% conviction rate that they have, something crazy like that.
Yeah, they wait until they got everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So then people are saying like, oh, this is all going to come back to dirt, or, you know, something's going to, you know, but what do you think about that? Because I don't think much will happen just because I feel like he's kind of like insulated in his own like in his own world, that nothing like going on directly here can like affect him directly.
The only way they would tie that to Dirk is if, you know, he directly was involved somehow. And to be honest with you, I doubt that he was, man.
Right.
You know, I doubt that he was. I doubt that Vaughn was too. I know people say Vaughn did this, Vaughn, like he paid for it. I don't think that actually happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you're talking about like you're taking like huge risk. I mean, you're risking millions and millions for what? Like Duck wasn't really. I mean, I know he was a high value target, but he hadn't personally killed any of their homies. You know, I can see them doing that for like a guy that they knew had killed one of their guys. But Duck was just, at the end of the day, a rapper, man.
Yeah.
Like, he was, I'm not saying he wasn't about it, but he wasn't like, I won't say any names, but he wasn't like some of the other guys that like, you know, really took some of their guys out and
right.
were feared and stuff like that. No, he wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So.
And then, so with all that going on in the city, do you have any opinion like with the mayor, like William Kim Foxx, as far as like, you know, what Kim Foxx been like? They've been saying like she's been too lenient with like crimes, and you know Kim Foxx, you know, saying stuff like, "Oh, we're gonna sue the gangs." Like, what is that shit like? I don't know how that thing gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know if Foxx was saying sue the gangs. I know Lightfoot was saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just it's a prime example, bro. Like there are certain guys who can be reached by like programs and training programs and things like that, but there's other guys that just they're dead set on doing this stuff, bro.
Right.
And you got to meet force with force when it comes to that. Like you can't baby these guys, bro. Like in Chicago, there's a legacy of police corruption and you know, systemic corruption, especially related to the black community. So in the back of, you know, in their culture, there's like a paranoia of repeating that same cycle, like more racism, more black men locked up for stuff they didn't do, stuff like that. So there's like a hesitation to be too harsh, so that they don't repeat the mistakes of the past. But like at the end of the day, the guys who are out there like doing this killing stuff in the streets are a more real present threat to the safety of their community than the police are.
Right,
like,
right.
A lot bigger threat.
Right.
So at the end of the day, like they gotta settle for a lesser of two evils. It's either gonna be the police doing what they gotta do and sometimes going overboard and being a little bit too rough with them, or let the gangs do what they wanna do and be too rough all the time, every day, 24/7.
Yeah.
So which is it gonna be? You know, that's like, if they didn't have the history in this country of oppression that they had, they might be willing to do what's necessary to stop them. But it's just like, you know, they've been oppressed for so long that it's like they don't want to do what the white man did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but what the white man did was stopping it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that anymore. So yeah.
Jeez, I mean, yeah, it's just a complex situation. I think I remember seeing one of your videos where you talk about this one gang where they kind of like just rule this whole block and kind of like terrorize the neighborhood, and it's like, yeah, what do you do in that situation? Like, you can't really call the cops. Like, you kind of just gotta like find the middle ground or something. I guess some way. I mean, it's crazy right now what's going on in the streets.
Yeah, man.
But so what's your work process like when you make your videos? I mean, you like upload like almost like twice a day, 3 times a day. Sometimes I see.
Yeah, I just you know. Sometimes people will send me stuff, and then I'll just, you know, see if I can get any other information on it. Like I do what I got to do in order to get, like, you know, certain other details that the media doesn't say, and then, you know, just try to put that in a video, man. I just, you know, record it. I basically just record it on my phone, and then I use Microsoft Movie Maker.
Oh, awesome.
I edit it on the laptop, man, and just upload it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I saw that you use the library to edit your videos. Is that correct?
I've done that a few times, man, but you know, I got it at home.
Oh, okay, nice. And then so how would you like you have like a lot of you have like a lot of information in your videos and a lot of details. How, do you just like talk to people directly? Do you have like a certain like contacts you go to for certain things that happen in certain areas, or how does that come about?
Yeah, there's been times when, you know, I'll have to have long conversations with guys to get information or whatever. But mainly, I mean, a lot of this stuff nowadays is just right there on social media, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the gangs are the streets are so transparent nowadays. These gangs are so open, talking about their business. They're really, I mean, anybody that does their homework on social media can find out what they're saying and doing and all that stuff, man. Like the other day, a guy who was a homie, like this was right by me. You know the Logan Square neighborhood on the north.
Yeah.
It's like a white and Hispanic neighborhood, man. One of the gangs over there is Spanish Cobras, and they're into with like the Imperial Gangsters and the Maniac Latin Disciples. So there was a black kid. His street name was Midnight. I don't know what his government name was. He just got killed, and like all the Latin folks were on social media dissing him, talking about midnight, like night, and all that stuff.
Oh,
and then
wow.
all the Cobras were saying rest in peace to him. Okay, well I didn't know that he was a Cobra. I mean, he might have just been a homie with them, but like I would not have known that because I don't have any sources with the Spanish Cobras. I wouldn't have known that, but it was all over social media. So I can just say based off that, okay, the Cobras are paying their respects. So he was at least cool with them or whatever. So like I haven't uploaded the video yet, but you'll see when I upload it, I'll be like, rest in peace Midnight, Spanish Cobras paying respects to their homie. I'll title it like that, and I got that all from Facebook.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
So it just mattered, like, yeah, either like, online, and you see, like, if you have to have long conversations with people, like, how do those conversations go? Is it like, you gotta leave this guy's name out, you gotta like.
Oh yeah. There's been times when gang members will like give me all the info.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they'll tell me like, don't put this in the video. Certain things like don't put it in the video. Because then they'll be able to figure out who told you and stuff like that. So I don't always do it, and these guys do it for different reasons. But at the end of the day, like a lot of these guys, they kind of put the street stuff out there because it boosts their rap careers and the rap careers of the other guys in their set when people know about the street drama that's going on.
Yeah.
So that's really like the biggest advertisement for their music. So yeah.
Right.
I mean, some guys want it out there.
Yeah, I mean, any way to like get a name for themselves, especially if they're like trying to rap and like get a name for themselves.
Exactly, bro. And plus, a lot of dudes they don't want like people that are watching this stuff to think that the ops are beating them. You know what I'm saying? Like they want people to know like the ops are down. They're losing. Okay, so if the ops are on social media making it seem like they're winning, well, they'll come to me and be like, nah, it ain't like that. Like, they didn't kill this dude. He died by accident or something. Like, they'll want me to clear it up. And they'll want somebody like me to say it because they can't say it. So.
Wow, that's really interesting. Is this done like person to person? I doubt they want to like this like all like on email or text messaging or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's on phone. I rarely meet up with dudes in person, bro. Because it could be like a setup or something like that. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like I didn't even, I didn't know who you were.
Yeah. I was some random guy just leaving a comment.
I mean, that's why I told you like the original location you had told me. I know that's right by 757. Over there.
It's right across the street from Dunbar.
Right. That's right by 757.
Yeah.
So like I know there's gangs around us, so that's why I switched it to this location.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So because people hit me up from fake accounts all the time.
Oh wow, damn.
Bro, it was one time this Hispanic lady, or she wasn't really. I don't think she was really a Hispanic lady, but she was sending me DMs of herself like naked,
what?
like in lingerie and stuff like that, talking about I want to link up with you and collaborate with you on a video and all. And she's like naked on her bed and stuff, and she's like I want to link up with you. So then I looked on her account. This was a Twitter account where she DM'd me. I looked on her account and it was all like uploading, like I'm not gonna say the gang, but they were uploading all of the songs like from the rappers from this one gang. And they were like dissing the ops to that gang. And this is supposedly, she said she was like some lady from Arizona. It's all like Chicago gang stuff on her page. I knew it was like, it's these dudes with a fake account like trying to get at me, you know what I'm saying?
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, man, like dudes try to finesse me into linking up with them so they can smoke me all the time.
Wow,
so,
dude.
Yeah,
Keep staying safe out here, man.
Yeah, I gotta be careful.
What's it called? Yeah, I mean, I saw the comment where the guy was like, don't do it, Wendy, it's a setup. I know, I swear it's not, man. I'm just trying to have it. But I appreciate you coming out, man. And, like,
it's I've linked up with interviews with some other guys, man. But yeah,
awesome. And then do you do that on purpose, not show your face like in your videos, like people don't really recognize you that much?
Well, people have seen my face before. I mean, like some people know what I look like, but and people know because I mean, they know like they know from like if I don't have my mask on, like I'm missing teeth, you know what I'm saying? So they know from that too.
So. Yeah, I heard news about you getting your teeth done.
Yeah, I'm getting them done. They had to take all of them out.
Oh wow.
So I'll show you. Like you see on the
Oh yeah.
It's totally gone, everything.
Jeez.
And about they took all this out. So they're gonna give me like fake ones like on the top, but in order to do that, they had to clear everything out. So
Oh wow.
yeah, because it's gonna be like 2 studs and then like a fake, thing on the bottom. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a grill.
yeah, I mean, I'll be able to put anything on there, but I don't know.
So, what do you think about the future of Chicago as far as like direction of gangs? Is it gonna be like a lot more like just more and more cliques popping up, or what's the city gonna do about it?
I think over time it's going to go the direction of LA, where like Hispanics take over the black neighborhoods, because that's already happening in Inglewood and it's happening in South Shore over east. So I think that trend is going to continue, and then when that happens, like then the violence will go down, because whites are like more willing to. I mean, I'm just being like totally candid. Like whites are more willing to. They're more comfortable moving around Hispanic neighborhoods than they are around black neighborhoods.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like you see the north side, like northwest side is all like mixed white and Hispanic. You don't really see too many neighborhoods where it's mixed white and black. You know what I mean? So they're kind of like segregated. So as Mexicans take over Inglewood, like then whites will start moving into the area too, just like in Gage Park, Pilsen, like neighborhoods like that, like it's happening already. And then the violence will drop, because they bring the businesses. The Starbucks, the Whole Foods, all that stuff will start popping up to serve the whites.
Right.
They'll bring investment to the area, tax dollars, and then everything will get better.
Yeah, kind of like what happened with Pilsen, because like Pilsen was kind of like a no-go zone at a certain point.
It was a hood, yeah.
Yeah.
Pilsen was a hood, yeah.
Yeah, and now like you got Starbucks, you got little coffee shops,
Right.
a bunch of white people moving in there now.
Yeah, like these are whites like coming from out of state. You know what I'm saying? Like the whites that were here in Chicago back in the day, they moved out to the suburbs.
Right.
And really they're not coming back, but these whites are coming in for jobs, from like other states, and they don't even know like which neighborhood is which. So wherever their job is, they're gonna move over there, and then they just put down roots. The businesses come to serve them because they got money, and it just happens like that. Like Logan Square, you see the same thing. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That used to be like, I mean, like a gang wars. Logan Square was terrible, like probably 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like a hit. Like yuppie area, you know what I'm saying? Because like mixed white and Hispanic, they've started moving. So yeah.
And then what about like all the social media talk? You think that's going to continue, like ops dissing other ops? Because like I think at a certain point, they got to realize like, oh, we're like displaying this all for everybody to see, and like feds are watching. And they always talk about like, oh, gotta keep it quiet because the feds watching, but it's all out there.
But bro, that's gonna get even worse.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Why do you think so?
At the end of the day, man, like these are very young guys who don't really. I mean, they gotta learn it through real life experience, getting busted, and until that happens, they ain't learning, bro.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of girls like that won't even rock with a guy who's not on social media, like posting guns, so like.
What?
They're drawn to stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
It was a girl. I remember she was at Steinmetz High School. She was real pretty. She was like a Mexican girl, and she was talking about like she only dates gangbangers. Like if you're not in a gang, she won't even date. And she was into the D's. Like she wanted to date all the D's.
Jeez.
And I'm like, I was telling her, I'm like, you gonna. First of all, he's gonna cheat. Okay. Secondly, he's gonna get either killed or you're gonna be standing next to him when they come by and shooting at him and hit you.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this is like really bad. She's like, she just said she's attracted to him. She feels like she's more protected by that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the sense of it at the end.
I'm like, sis, you need protection from that. I'm like, they're gonna put you in worse danger than if you're with a guy who's a lame. He's a target. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That ain't protection. That's the illusion of protection. It's not real, So
yeah, like you always say, like when you go to hoods, it's just like a total lane. So
exactly. Yeah, dude, but people like you go all the way back in history, man. People make the same mistakes over, and every generation got to make those mistakes. Learn from it, so it's gonna continue, man.
Right, and they're just getting younger and younger. I mean, it's like 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds. I think sometimes 12-year-olds, like especially the carjacking stuff. Like it's like just kids,
11-year-olds carjacking stuff, man.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying, like, with the mayor and the state attorney, like, they have to kids need discipline. You know what I'm saying? That's not hate, that's love. That's tough love.
Mm-hmm, right.
They need to have those boundaries set, because if you just let them run wild, like I compare what's going on right now in the system, man, to a parent that just gives their kid everything they want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want candy. Well, then the kid's gonna be fat and diabetic.
Yeah.
You can't give a kid what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And these gangbangers are literally kids.
Yeah.
So you can't give them what they want. Like you can't try to be the cool mayor. Like you gotta be a disciplinarian. Man.
Right.
It ain't, I mean, the mayor's on some level trying to do that, but the courts ain't backing her up.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. So then, let's say like it's like you were mayor. What would be like something that you would want to like implement, like for like at least like like gang retaliation or just gang like reprogramming?
Well, I would have meetings with the lawmakers in Springfield and with the state's attorney, with the judges, and I would say, look, just being in a gang, like no other activity, just having membership in a gang, claiming it anywhere, we got to make that a crime, like punishable by like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you claim this gang, you're locked up immediately. It has to be like that harsh. You know what I'm saying? Because just claiming a gang, okay, that can get your house shot up.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to claim this gang and you want to go live in this house with your little sister and your mama, although you just made all them targets.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I've seen video where a guy, like this happened not too long ago, like up by me, like a couple blocks from me. It was a dude, he was standing literally on the street. I think he was like a white dude, but he was like, I think he was like a royal or some, I don't know what he was. But he was just standing there. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning. The block is totally quiet. There's a house like right there. He just ups a pistol and he just starts firing into the house.
Oh wow.
You couldn't see in the house. You couldn't see who was in the house. You couldn't see who he was shooting at. He's firing it up. Then he like the gun jammed or something. He reloaded. He upped it. He started firing again, just like flaming this house.
Wow. Oh my god.
So I'm like, and this is my neighborhood, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, they got to make just being in a gang a crime, because just by being in a gang, they make everybody around them targets. You see what happened to that girl whose mom was a saint, was an almighty saint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She told the party players, "I'm not in a gang, but my mom is." Well, they just shot her in the head. You know what I'm saying? Just for her mom being a saint. So,
jeez. I think also like the the super easy access to guns too is like another like huge problem. Just like I think people always say like Indiana's like a big main tunnel, but like
yeah, man.
I think people forget that like these guys kind of like have other guys buy guns from like a gun show and things like that.
Yeah, the guns. Like I said, like in videos before, man. Like I think they should tighten up on the guns as much as they can. But at the end of the day, like that's not going to be a sure solution, because it's just like drugs. Anything where there's a demand for it in the criminal underworld, there's always going to be a black market for that. They're going to find a way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the cartels, these straw purchasers, like they find a way around all that, man.
Right.
There's so much money in it. You can get rich off of selling guns to street gangs. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. You can slow it down to some degree, but you can't stop it. They're going to get a hold of it. It's already illegal for like a 14-year-old to have an AK.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they're still getting it. So
that's a good comparison to the drugs, because like no matter how much regulation, how much money drug, there's been a drug problem since forever.
Right. Exactly, man.
And then so what do you think about the future of Chicago? Like politically, streetwise, just like an overall encapsulation of what do you think the city is going to the direction?
Well, okay, so the city is like I mentioned earlier. I think there's going to be a lot of gentrification, especially over east, because over east that's like prime real estate. I mean, you're talking about like lakefront property.
Right.
There used to be like a rich Jewish area, and the buildings around there are gorgeous. And Mexicans are starting to move in. Okay, once the Mexicans come, the whites will come too. You know what I'm saying? So I think that area is going to be gentrified. So politically, I think it's gonna stay liberal, because most of these whites moving in are liberal. But violence-wise, I think it's going to go down eventually. It has to get worse before it gets better.
Right.
But it being worse is driving a lot of the black folks out.
Do you think it's worse? The worst part is yet to come, or are we like getting towards the worst part?
I don't know how much worse it could get than it's at right now, but yeah, I mean, as long as we have the current judges, and the current state's attorney, man, and like I said, in the aftermath of like the George Floyd situation and everything, there's there's like a pushback against police.
Right.
So that makes them less likely to crack down and be harsh. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be bad for a while, the way it's going right now, if things continue the current way. But what that's like, Inglewood has lost 20% of its population, I think, in the past 10 years.
Wow.
And they're moving away because of the violence. So eventually, it'll get to a point where, it's only like, the killers left, and then, that place right now is already like, if you're trying to raise kids, uninhabitable. So, the more they move away, the less the violence will be. And I feel bad for them because, at the end of the day, like, they're not part of the problem, the ones that are moving away. But, that's a lot of them. Their kids just get wrapped up in that movement and that culture. So the more they get away from that, it'll be good for them too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a win-win, really.
Yeah, and there's less people like getting involved with like that type of organization, just just fitting back into it.
Yeah, man.
And then, would you ever think about moving out of Chicago? Do you plan on staying here your whole life?
Yeah, maybe someday, bro. Maybe someday. Yeah. Not any time like in the next few years, but yeah, maybe someday.
Where do you have any like ideas in mind of where might go?
Yeah, I mean, it would probably be like overseas.
Oh, nice.
I always wanted to move back to where my dad's family's from. Like most of them still live over there, so I probably would want to move over there, possibly Italy. Someplace in Europe. Man.
Nice. They also have like a little drill scene going on too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure they do, man. I mean, Italy has a lot of corruption with the mafia. Like that's still a big problem over there, And it's the same thing. It's a cultural problem over there too, I mean, I wouldn't be worried about my kids getting involved in that or anything.
Right.
So I'd be comfortable with it.
Okay. And then, do you have any like future plans, like next within this year, next couple years, plans for the channel, things you want to expand with it, or like new ideas you want to bring into the channel?
I'm trying to, to be honest with you, man, I'm not really sure. I'm probably just gonna keep on, letting it go the way it's been going, which is let the viewers decide, based on what they request from me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the only viewers who I'm not giving what they want right now are the ones that are requesting like Oblock and STL every day, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just like fan stuff, bro. Like I'm trying to cover like what's really going on here, and yeah, that's going on, but it's not like
it's not everything that's going on.
Everything. Yeah, Oblock and Duck and Vaughn and like that's just you get tired of that stuff after a while. You know? Like that's like all these. That's all the main Chicago like media is focusing on.
It's a bigger city than just that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. I mean, I think that's about we can just wrap it up right here. Don't want to keep it too long, but thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate you like just following up with me and like checking, make sure like I'm not nothing with some bug shit or anything.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, no, it's nothing personal, bro. You understand? I have to take that precaution.
Definitely.
When I don't know the person.
Yeah. All right, man. So, everybody, this is the Onthaquicks podcast. Windy City Reports. Follow him. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. Windy City Reports. Do you want to plug in anything else?
No, that's about it. You said it all. I appreciate you having me, bro. Thank you.
No problem, man. Take care, man.
Thanks a lot.